You're listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. Code 15% off any online order. Enter promo code SAVE15, code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, with the great Tyler Warden, I am merely Mike Luke. Hello, Tyler Warden. How are you doing today?
Feeling like a champ, Mike.
All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, we got everybody in here, but let's talk about it first. The first thing that we got going on is Arizona is Big 12 champions. I'm going to say this. Arizona is the Big 12 is the number one basketball conference in the entire country. I don't even think it's close. And Arizona is going to, I was going to say, I think Arizona is, they're going to win the conference. I feel pretty good about that, Tyler. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, Fran said it there at the end, too. Like, this is also, I think it's a locked up 1 seed. I think you are the one out west no matter what happens. I mean, obviously, barring like a loss to Colorado or something like that, you're going to clinch the Big 12 outright. You will be the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament. Quite frankly, like, at this point, don't really care too much what happens in the Big 12 tournament as long as we're kind of staying healthy, because I think we are going to be the one out west. I think we're going to be in San Diego. And, now it's time to start focusing on the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. I think Arizona's locked this one up now. I mean, you got the kind of wins that you have right now are, I mean, you look at it. You got Florida. You got UConn. You've got Houston on the road. You've got Kansas at home. You've got, you've got a lot of really, really nice wins. I think that you could lose. I mean, you don't want to lose to anybody. I get that. But you could lose to Iowa State and beat Colorado, and you could lose in the Big 12 tournament. You're a 1 seed. They did everything that they needed to be able to do to get to this point, Tyler. I mean, you're this far into the season, and you have 2 losses. That's insane.
Yeah, and the 2 losses are to a Texas Tech team that if they have JT Toppin, I think that they're winning, they can win a national championship. And, quite frankly, just went out and beat Iowa State on the road, number 4 team in the country, pretty handily. Right. The Kansas game is a big Monday game at Fog Allen, and you just took care of them by 23. You still got Iowa State on Monday night, obviously want to get that win, want to kind of make the argument for the number 1 overall seed. But, like, at this point, we talk about this all the time, but it's what can you do to put yourself in the best possible position come March so that you can have a chance to get to the Final Four. And, frankly, they've done that.
All right, now we got a $49.99 Super Snap. Very much appreciate you. This kind of a BAB 5983. This kind of felt like the original TMNT movie when the Turtles got Raphael back, nursed him back to health, and were at full strength to kick butt. Bear down, baby, Big 12 champs. It's very good. I like that Ninja Turtles reference. I think the other thing, too, that we got to give Tommy Lloyd a lot. Tommy Lloyd is a very, very good adjuster of things. When something happens, especially in games or after games, whatever the case is, he does a really nice job of it. Last time, Badinga had a really, really good game against Arizona. I think he had 23 and 10. He was quite good. And he didn't do anything in this game. I think he had 2 and 4 or something like that. That was clearly a thought. That was clearly a process that Tommy Lloyd and the coaching staff had, and they did it.
Well, he was 2 of 4, but I think the 2 more important stats from Badinga on the night, he was 1 of 5 from the field, meaning he only took 5 shots, right? They eliminated his ability offensively to kind of dominate inside. He had 1 block, too. Right. In a game where we got to the rack, there was definitely parts of the game where we weren't able to get it down low as much as we want. But, I mean, on the whole, the team finished with how many points in the paint? 30 points in the paint, right. And Badinga had 1 block. This was really – it's funny because it's very – Shear said this. It's very difficult to say that Kansas is a better team without Darren Peterson, and the guy did have 24 tonight. But it was on 8 of 21 shooting, and they looked terrible offensively compared to what they looked like when we played at Lawrence.
You know what I'm going to say about Peterson? Peterson's really talented, but I'm also going to say this. I don't know that Peterson's a winning basketball player. I never watch Peterson and say, man, that guy really wants to win. Like, when I look at AJ's a guy that no matter what you think of his game, AJ looks like he wants to win. AJ's out there trying. I watch Peterson, and there's just something missing there. I don't really know what it is, but that's one of those ones that I would, I'll let somebody else have him. I'll put it to you like that.
He's got a great NBA game. He's going to do extremely well at the NBA level, but his game in college basketball is not conducive to winning titles.
Right.
It's kind of similar to AJ, but the difference is that AJ, I think, at least understands that he is a part of a team. and
Right.
he says, "This is what I think gets us the best chance at winning." I think, quite frankly, like Darren Peterson's just the type of guy that's out there stat padding and just doing this all.
He's looking to get his.
He gonna get his.
Yeah.
And look again, at 24 points, but it was on 21 shots. It was an inefficient 21. And I think the more telling thing is he sat during that second kill shot, and towards the end of that second kill shot, and that was it. I mean, like it was over, and I didn't necessarily see anything where he was calling over to Bill Self, kind of doing his, I got my cramps thing. But like, that's not, the type of player that I want to build an entire team around. When Arizona's making their second kill shot of the game after you pulled it within 2 on the road, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm out."
All right, let's talk about Koa. I think what's I think it's interesting about Koa, and I kind of thought this at the time a little bit. We might look back at this and say, you know what, this actually was a good thing for Arizona because when Koa went out, when Dwayne went out, right now at this stage in the game, and we'll get to the Michigan injury. At this stage in the game with Koa and with with ADO. ADO was just not playing well. I don't know how else to put it. ADO was just not playing well. Yeah. This forced him to play well, and it said, hey, we need you out here. We need you to be part of this, and he did that. Now you get back Koa, and to quote the great David Rosen, and by the way, Jennifer, very cool on the bag and stuff, Koa looked much better from the tip. No Ben 1. I'm going to say this, though, about Koa. When Koa plays hard, when Koa plays with energy and passion, he's a real problem. And early on in the game, you could tell that Koa was like, all right, I want to show people that I'm back.
Yeah, it was like the classic, I've been sitting for 2 weeks and I've been itching to play and I'm going to get mine. And he had the energy from the start, right? I mean, the first kill shot of the game when you went from, on that 19-0 run, that was largely driven by Koa, being able to get the ball inside to Mo. I think Mo had his best game in a Wildcats uniform. I'm sure we'll talk about that a bit. Yep. But no, Koa's injury will be a blessing in disguise, not only because it forced ADO to get out of his slump, but because it also forced Tommy to figure out how can we use Evan, how can we use CD in situations where we need to, right? And like you saw today, we didn't need to use them. We didn't need to use Dwayne Arizona, right? But we've got that in our toolkit now. Right. And that's the thing. Again, it's all just about how can you maximize your probability of success. And I want us to play with an 8-man rotation. But if we can stretch it to 9 in a game where we need to, or if Tobe has foul trouble, or if, somebody's got an illness, I like the ability to kind of shuffle up the deck a little bit. And that's kind of what this Koa injury had. Now, look, I think at the end of the day, Koa still relies so heavily on bully ball as his primary method of offense. Yeah. I think, we've talked before about like, does it make sense for him to say? I don't think he's going to. I think Monday will be the last time you see him play at McHale. But it's, there's a reason that he's one of the 3 people that's on this shirt. Right. And it's because he is just that dominant of a player. And his energy and motor today really kind of helped set the pace in the first half.
All right. Now, Case on the backup point guard for Michigan, that's a loss, man.
That's tough.
That's a tough loss because the thing with Michigan that I've always felt, I think Michigan's the one fly in the ointment for Michigan is that I don't think their guards are very good. Especially Cadeau and Burnett, whatever. You lose a guy like Cason, that's another. You don't have a real margin for error at that point, especially in that backcourt. That's a big loss for them. I mean, granted he's a backup, but that's still a big loss for them.
Yeah, it's like, so who do you have that comes off the bench now? That McKinney guy?
Yeah,
like that's McKinney, really the only backcourt. So it's like, all right, great, you're going to play Elliot Cadeau 32, 34 minutes now because you don't really have much of an option. That's a tough one. It would be comparable, I think, to us losing ADO, not necessarily because of the scoring, but just in terms of like that, you need a guy that can go out there and get minutes and can be efficient offensively, and that's what Kason was. So yeah, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's a big-time loss. All right, now Burries was really, really good. We're going to get to that. Yeah. Casey Kennedy, really good stuff where he says, I think this is spot on. He's smarter than me, and he was able to put it more eloquently. When Koa balances aggression with timely composure, he's a nightmare. The little break for him to get healthy and tighten some things up will be an absolute blessing in disguise. I agree with that. H. Fuchs, who's been very, very mean to me on Shear's message boards. H. Fuchs, you've been very, very mean. I still love H. Fuchs, though. 9 out of 10 furries are in favor of Burries. Very much agree with that. Yes. And also, I got to talk. I was there for the first half. The atmosphere was great. The fans were good. I was very, very happy with it. I back the fans here. I think they get a little too much crap. Mr. Tyler Warden, your turn.
So this is I wonder if there was something up with the ESPN broadcast, because I saw some people saying that their TV copy, the crowd was extremely loud. On my TV copy, the crowd was not that loud. I don't know if it was an audio thing, but like it was noticeable that they were all standing. And, obviously seeing everybody on Twitter saying that they were loud and energetic. I got to give a lot of shout out for pulling off the stripe out for the first time in my life. I hate the stripe out. I think it's always like the dumbest thing. It never actually works. It actually looked really good today. So kudos to Arizona for pulling that one off.
Ryan Lopez. Mike is a big fan of the retirement home at Alchemy. No, I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of people that have been here for 40 or 50 years, a lot of times before we were even born. They were the ones that got McHale going. They're the ones that get the money. Like I said, I will always back up. I will always back my old people. I think I'm just getting ready to be an old person, Tyler.
Yeah. What's the old woman with the hat that dances over?
Oh, that lady's what is her name?
Phyllis.
Yes, I think it's Phyllis, or it's an old person name. Agnes, Phyllis, something like that.
Yeah, give me Phyllis, and I'm super happy. Right. Yeah. Like now where I do have a problem is like with the old people that like are going to be, grouchy and, complain to people standing up and stuff like that. But if you're going to be a Phyllis, like go be a Phyllis. And like, look, at the end of the day, like money is a big thing. They cut big checks. They pay a lot of money to go to those games.
The only thing I'm going to say is this, and the points are right. If anybody tells you to sit down or you're being too loud, that sucks. I'm not defending those people at all. I'm also, though, a lot of times the people complaining about the old people, though, are also the ones that are buried on their phone the entire game, or the ones that are going like this so that they can show everybody that they're there. So it's a two-way street. That's what I'm going to say. It's a two-way street.
Well, look, as a guy that is like known for being in person and doing obnoxious things to get the crowd going, like that has such an effect, on the team and on the atmosphere, is when you get everybody in there and you get them loud and rocking. I think that's when McHale's at its finest. So like, to the people that are saying sit down, like go kick rocks, but like McHale looked awesome today.
Let's get into Mo and let's get into Burries. By the way, I got to give a big shout out to Jerry Reyes. Jerry Reyes is one of the people I'm talking about. He just turned 75 years old. Big shout out to big shout out to Jerry on the big 7-5. And like Jerry said, old people seats sometimes cost $50 to $100K. Jerry Reyes, like I said, that's 75 years on Earth. Thank you, my friend. You've done a really good job. Oh, my gosh, $100 super snap, a $99 super snap. Holy moly. Back the A. BTFD. Very much appreciate you. This win. Oh, and look at it. There's a jet in the background, too.
Let's go.
Yeah. This win was as big as a parking lot needs to be to fit mine and Andre's jets. Love the revenge games. Hard to beat Tommy twice. Very much appreciate you.
Do you think that jet is going forward, or do you think it's backing up?
I think it's reversing in midair. I think that's kind of what it's doing. Yeah. So, like I said, big shout out to Jerry Reyes on the 75th. Okay, now let's get a couple reads in here. Then we got to talk Mo and we got to talk Burries because they go get their sheet. All right, what do we got? Okay. All right, now the watch party. Jerry Reyes was at the watch party now, and I need him to be there again. Okay, now check it out. Casino del Sol Sportsbook. It's going to be a lot of fun. Arizona is going to be, and we are going to be there for the Big 12 tournament, March 12th through 14th. Eat, drink, bet with me and Jason. And again, Jerry Reyes might show up there. He's very spry for being 75. Check it out. AZ12 watch party, going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's see here. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Anybody out there, Alston, and this is for you. If you have a bunch of old people that are telling you to sit down, get a video of it and send it to me, and I'll take it from there. Seriously, there's a bunch of people doing it, I'll take it from there. All right, now I will endorse old people. I'll never endorse Andre Veras, not under any circumstances. Not on my watch. Not going to do it. Okay, now, did you recently change jobs? Let's talk you through your old 401, or give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. And check us out at longviewii.com. Check it out. All right, boom. All right, one more. What do we got? All right, Foster Plumbing. All right, you're freshly engaged. How's the front pipe?
It's Saturday night, so we'll find out later.
You're going to get yours. Yeah. But, again, the front pipe is, you've got to check out the front pipe. Let's see. Well, no, you don't have to check out the front pipe. You got to check out Foster Plumbing. Residential and commercial, licensed, bonded, and insured. 24/7 service. 10% off when you mention the AZ12 podcast. Call 520-603-3817 to schedule service today. Okay, now.
It's no bishop pole, but it'll get the
It's
job
not a
done.
bishop. The bishop stick.
The bishop stick. There you go.
Okay, now, all right, like I said, somebody give me a video of this, and I will have fun with it. All right, now, we got to talk Mo Crevis, and we're going to talk Braden Burries. Mo was awesome today. Tyler, I didn't put this on my show notes, but I should have. Please talk to me about why you think this was Mo's best game of the season, because you're right.
Yeah, Mo turned the entire game around. Nice. Mo, look, he had 1 rebound in the first half, right? In a first half in which we frankly kind of dominated. He finished the game, I want to say, with 10 rebounds. So he had 9 second half rebounds. The stretch there where Kansas tightened it up within 2, right? The entire momentum got stymied because of Mo on the offensive glass and his ability to score down low. I think that offensively was massive, and that's kind of what got the offense going back in rhythm. But what he did defensively today was remarkable. Like we already talked about it, Bedinga had 5 shots. Bryson Tiller did nothing as well. They basically forced Kansas to settle for outside shots because he was that dominant at the rim. I thought all in all, his defense today was remarkable. I think it was up there with Yvonne for defensive performance of the game. I thought Yvonne also had a great defensive game, but it was really his ability to attack the glass. That one possession that ended with Burries going for the dunk, getting fouled, shooting 2 free throws. That was set up by him getting 2 offensive rebounds on that possession. And look, Arizona is its best version of itself when it gets out in transition and when it attacks the glass. And we were plus 22 on the game in large part because of that.
All right, now the Mississippi Gladiator says here, again, Andre, like BTA says, you're persistent in your pursuing of the endorsement, but I will never give you the endorsement, but I will highly recommend the Mississippi Gladiator. Tough games for the Spacer crowd again. Yeah, Ben one white, back the A, baby. 1999. Very much appreciate you, Andre Veras. You are the man. You know the other thing, too, about Mo, and I was thinking about this and talking with somebody a little bit behind the scenes. I bet you, and I'm just curious, Mo has the worst whistle that goes against him in the entire Big 12, and I'd be curious if there's something worse in the country. This game, finally, he was allowed to play defense, where he would go straight up and block a shot or stand there, and they didn't come out there and say, oh, can't do that. You got to go and block, you got to go do this or you got to go do that. Here, go sit on the bench. I thought Mo was just great on offense and on defense. You know what I like, too? When he got the ball, he was throwing some bows, too. He was being strong with it. He wasn't going to let anybody take that front pipe. You were going to have to rip that thing out. And, like I said, he was great. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, the offensive game was really crispy today too.
Yeah,
his moves were very fluid, very clean. He only had 2 free throws.
The kids would say zesty. Is that what you guys say? Zesty?
Yeah, shout out AG. Zesty. So I had a tweet that I put out a couple of weeks ago, so I'd have to update these numbers. Zach Edey had 436 free throws in 39 games in a senior year. Through 25 games, Krivos has had 103. He's literally had 25% of the free throw attempts that Zach Edey had in his senior year. Right. Obviously, I'm not saying that they are like for like, but their game is similar. And he gets terrible whistles offensively. He doesn't get whistles offensively. Defensively, I mean, he is the king at being completely vertical, but he's just so much bigger. And he's got girth to him, too. We talk about Tobe being the girth monster. He has some girth to him. He gets the raw end of the stick a lot, but I will say this, Fran hit on the broadcast. He is better for this team than Henry Vasar is. And it's becoming more and more apparent as we're watching UNC throughout the season, where, Henry's trying to stretch the court. He's trying to be a spacer. Mo is not that, and Mo plays his role very.
You know what I like about this team? It's a bunch of guys that also know what their role is. And sorry if zesty means something else. I didn't realize that. I just keep seeing people say that. So sorry if it means something else. Whatever.
I thought it just meant like
I
spicy.
I thought it meant like spicy. Like whatever. All right. So I'm gonna say this though with and what were we just talking about, Tyler? My brain just farted.
Mo's roles, knowing your roles.
Oh, yeah, Mo. What I like about this team, by and large, is that guys know their role. Tobey doesn't try to do things Tobey can't. Mo doesn't try to do things Mo can't. I think the thing that annoyed me sometime about last year is I think the thing that kind of Kobe, sorry. KJ Lewis, all right, sorry. KJ Lewis tried to do a bunch of, my fault. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Kobe is zesty. I'll leave it at that. All right, now, I'm going to say this, though. How do I put this? Last year, KJ Lewis was always trying to do a bunch of stuff that he couldn't do. And it was annoying. I mean, you would have Carter trying to do some stuff that he couldn't do as well. You would have a lot of different things that, that you would this team has players that are doing what they're supposed to do. And if anything, you could probably make the case that they're not branching out enough, taking some shots. I like that.
Yeah, like JB today, I don't know what he finished from 3-point range. I think he was 0 for 2. It was on the same possession. Mm-hmm. But, like, JB, I want you to shoot more threes. If you got that
open, take it.
Take the 3. I think that ADO has like started to branch out and trying to get to the rack. And then the shot that I'm absolutely loving from ADO is that drive to the right towards the baseline and that kind of fadeaway shot. He's been very clean with that. But yeah, nobody plays outside of themselves, right? Even Tobey, like occasionally shoots the 3. Today when he shot it, I was like, yes, that's a good look. I want you to take that.
You know what's funny? The only thing that you can complain about Tobey is that Tobey plays too hard, which is like the weirdest. That would be, and when I was talking about this with Sheer, that would be the oddest conversation for a coach to have in this day and age where guys are minute managing and load management and all that crap. Like, you have to go to a guy and say, listen, you're playing really hard. We love that, but we need you to lay off a little bit because we don't want those fouls. I mean, what an interesting talk.
If I was Tobey Awaka and I was like putting together my highlight tape for the NBA Combine, the play that I would take is today when there was 1 minute and 32 seconds left in a 23-point game, him fighting over 2 guys to get an offensive rebound.
Yeah,
that is who Tobey Awaka is. He does kind of commit some dumb fouls sometimes. It also is tough because, like, again, Mo and Tobey are both so girthy that they just hit people and they start flying.
Right.
So, like, I think Tobey gets screwed a lot of times because, like, he's just bigger than the other guy that he runs into. But, yeah, as Toby says, he's girth maxing for sure.
Yes, no, that's very, very good. Okay, now, we need Tobey minute maxing. What does frame magging mean? I see
frame
this all
mogging.
The time.
It just means that, like, mogging just means to do something better than somebody else. So frame mogging is just like, I got broader shoulders and a bigger frame than you.
So Kobe Altheel is never frame mogging anybody then, correct?
No, he gets frame mogged a lot.
I kind of figured. I just wanted to be sure on that one. All right, now Braden Burries. I have the comparison that I heard on the broadcast today that I am going to give them credit for.
Yep.
Jamal Murray.
I know exactly. Yep.
Jamal Murray. That's it. I've always been I've been trying to come up with the right comparison, and the Booker one was not bad, but Booker's bigger. He's a little more physically. He doesn't even, they don't move quite the same. Jamal Murray is it. The Jamal Murray comparison is spot on. I love that. Tyler Warren, the course.
Yeah, as soon as Fran said that, it like clicked and I was like, oh yeah, this is what we've been looking for, because we kept on going like, he's like Booker light. But like, no, he is Jamal Murray. The other thing I was thinking about today, I'm shocked that Braden hasn't had a triple-double this season. He had so many sneaky boards. Yeah, right. He had 8 first-half rebounds. I mean, he had 7 more first-half rebounds than Mo Krivas had. And he can obviously facilitate. He had 5 assists today. So his stat line was 20, 12, and 5. Right. He's the best player on this team. And it's really crazy to see where we come from November when we were in full panic mode. I think on the panic meter, I was at an 8 at one point on Burries. He is the best player on this team. I think in the second half today, we could have done a better job of getting him cleaner looks when Kansas was making that run to tighten it back up. Right. Sheer tweeted this out. He did go a very long time without taking a shot. But like I said earlier, our secret weapon, our superpower as a team is our transition offense. he runs that better than any guard I've seen in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And it is explosive. I mean, he is so fast to the hole. It's
You know what's
impressive.
amazing, too, about him? His ability to, and he's a really good athlete. He's not a great athlete, but he's a really good athlete. The idea that he wasn't a good athlete was obviously just wrong. I might have fallen into that. I don't know.
Same.
Maybe. But he's but still, you very rarely see a guy that is not a next level explosive finisher at the hoop be able to finish in the manners in which he does. Now he can dunk on you. He showed that last game. He go get his when he wants. But yes, I know, Curious Skeep, I absolutely thought that he was slow. I didn't think he was very athletic. I was wrong. But what's amazing about him, though, is the way that he can finish around the hoop. Generally, guys you see this with Tobey all the time, and obviously he's a big man, but it's different. The triple pump fake, and then it's like it goes off somewhere. When Burries gets to the rack, he's finishing. Whether it's size, girth, whatever, he's going all over. It's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not twitchy. That's kind of the thing. Burries is not like necessarily twitchy, but his straight line speed is quick. And I thought there was 2 or 3 times today where Trey White got away with a hand check foul on Burries going up for a layup.
Right.
The fact that Trey White, I think he ended the game with 1 foul. That's insane. That guy was. That's a separate topic. But no, he's strong to the rack. But I think what is most impressive is that when he gets the ball, he is immediately downhill full speed to the rim, and he's strong enough that he can go up and still get the bucket. Right. Again, I don't think it's the lateral quickness is there. I think when we were talking about him being slow, it was that twitchiness. Yeah. But he gets downhill fast.
Right. And yeah, that's a great point from LA's Shadow. Burries glides through the paint. I think that's a very, very good way of putting it. Oh, by the way, I had a super snap. Can you put the last super snap up there, Cody? It was me doing charity work, I think. Brett Seeley, the great Brett Seeley. Mike, thank you for trying to get the great Michelle Gardner to unblock me. Still unsuccessful, though. Guys, I'm working on it. I can only do. Michelle turned me down for a date. If anybody saw that, I guess she's got other stuff going on. I'm trying my hardest, though. Pardon the pun. But, Michelle. I invited her to come drink with me at the watch parties. She said she couldn't do it. I think she's just playing hard to get. So
yeah,
of
course. She's just intimidated.
Yeah, she's intimidated. When you see this, it's like Brad Pitt walking in the room. Come on, man. All right, let's get a couple reads in here. Back the reads, and yeah, the Golden Jayhawks. Sorry, McDeath, the Golden Jayhawks. I do apologize. Okay, boom. What do we got? Talk to me, Cody. Are you there? This is when I wonder what Cody's doing.
Zoning out.
Maybe I don't want to know. 88 crime. All right, now. Gonna say this: do not, if you're one of those morons that's going to the Nancy Guthrie scene and trying to take viral pictures of yourself so you can post your booty on Instagram, don't do it. You're an idiot for doing that. And if it was illegal, I would call 88 crime on you. But if you know about a crime that is actually committed, there is no connection to that whatsoever, but I really wanted to say that, so I just made it happen. 88 crime.
You're talking about the guy with the head tattoo?
With the head tattoo and then the chick with her butt hanging out of her, what are we doing here?
I don't know, but you were right. All three of those people are just like the worst.
They're scum, man. At the end of the day, I would like to Operation what is it? Neptune Fury, or what was it called last night?
Epic Fury.
Epic Fury. Yeah. 88 crime will do that for. Either way, just call 88 crime if you see something bad happen. Never mind. Just ignore all that. Okay. Now, all right. Where were you on Rebecca and Alston? You need to be in here as well. Where were you on Rebecca being AI or being real?
I thought she was real, and she broke my heart.
Yeah, she's full of crap. But the championship package is not full of crap. I almost said 1999 for the championship package. A little more than that, guys. 1997, my friends. 1997. Check it out. Daily urgent care Monday through Friday. Dental implants at affordable prices. Owned by local Arizona alumni. Land the man with the master plan. If you go in there, though, you will not see Rebecca Allen because she is not real, and we are still dealing with this. Boom. Yeah, I did. I was wrong on her as well.
Did you see the Nate Ament injury?
No, what just happened? Is it bad?
He's cooked. Yeah, he blew his knee out.
I like his game, too. It's going to take him a while, but
that sucks.
Yeah. All right, Copal. Cope with Copal, my friends. Tucson's contemporary Mexican food. CopalTucson.com. Mexican food delivered nationwide at mymexicanmenu.com. Use code AZ12 for 10% off. Book your next large party or corporate event with Copal. Large party packages available. They also cater any event. Check it out. Tucson's contemporary Mexican food. CopalTucson.com. Okay, now I'm going to say this about Arizona. When it got back to 2 points or whatever it was, went from like 19-2. Arizona then did what great teams did and said, okay, it's time to go on another run now. And it was 16-0. I don't like letting the team back into the game at all, but they definitely did answer there, Mr. Tyler Warden.
But again, what caused the run for Kansas in the first place, right? It's because they started to get offensive rebounds. They evened out that rebounding battle. They eliminated us getting to the line during that stretch. They got to the line. Darren Peterson is a very good player who went off, and they stopped us in the transition game.
Right.
I think that like the smartest thing that a coach can do is against Arizona defensively is do that full court press off of a dead ball, right? Because it just eats up the clock and it makes you go into a half court setting. And quite frankly, Arizona wasn't able to get the ball inside. There was a little bit of kind of an extra effort. There was a little bit more aggression out of the Kansas front court during that stretch. And that's kind of what allowed it to get tight. But then what did Arizona do? Arizona started working the pick and roll, rotating into the middle of the court. That opened up kind of the backdoor, pocket pass. Arizona was able to get to the line.
Right.
More importantly, they got stops. They got out in transitions. They hit timely buckets. And JB kind of managed that whole process. He was the steadying hand, that kind of, even though it was Avon's kind of freak three and then, getting a couple of offensive
Definitely a
possessions,
freak three, yeah.
It was a freak three. But JB was able to at least kind of get the offense settled down, was able to get the ball back inside, and it was lights out.
I have good news for the great Eric Paz. Eric is sad that the season is almost over. I won't get the blessing of watching this team every week after next month. Well, you're wrong about that. It would be the month after next month if things go the way that we want it to go there, Mr. Eric Paz. So again, after 2 months, then you would not be able to talk about it. So there we go. All right, now, Tom Smallwood, the great Tom Smallwood, says, we are a force. Back the A. Let's hear it, Mike. Yeah, $9.99 super snap from the great Tom Smallwood. Check it out. Boom. Appreciate you. All right, now, looking forward a little bit, Iowa State, Colorado. All I am at now, and you see this every year in college basketball, and you see it. We've seen it with Arizona before, with Brandon Ashley, with Lauren Woods. At this stage, you've done what you needed to do. I just need you going into the tournament healthy. That is all I care about at this point. I mean, what are we, 28-2? What's the record?
It says 27-2 on my screen, but I don't know if that's updated.
All right, 27-2 or 28-2 doesn't really matter.
22, yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's just say it's 27-2. All right, you did everything that you needed to do. Like Casey Kennedy just says, you just stay healthy. That's all I care about at this time, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Yeah, I want that Iowa State win for personal reasons, right?
Oh, is it personal? All the folks and names?
Yeah, just because, I think that Iowa State fans think that they're still the best team in the Big 12. I think that they think that they're slept on. I think that there's a little bit of kind of the revenge factor from, the Caleb Love 3 game last year, where it's we can definitively say, no, we're better than you guys. I'm very curious what happened today. Obviously, I wasn't watching that game because I was watching the Cats game. I'm very curious how Tech beat them at home. And I'll tell you what.
What did Haunts do? Did he go off?
No, not really. He was 14 on 12 shots. He was 14, 3, and 7.
I would have thought Haunts would have had 40 had they won.
Yeah, Donovan Atwell went off. Donovan Atwell had 6 threes. Jalen Petty had 3 threes. It was kind of a well-rounded effort. But, I'm looking at Iowa State right now, and Torrey was 0 for 7 from the field. Lipsky was 13 points on 9 shots. Jefferson and Momcilovic got theirs, but, nothing from the bench. Iowa State didn't shoot well, it looks like. Even though Texas Tech doubled them, they had 15 turnovers to 7 turnovers. So, all this to say, Iowa State's got a very tough trip now. Because you played on Saturday, you've got a very tight turnaround. They're probably flying out tonight.
I would assume they're flying to here, yeah, for sure.
And look, Ames to Tucson, that's not a quick, easy flight.
Yeah.
Monday's going to be interesting. Or I guess Yeah, it is Monday, right?
It is Monday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are
Yeah,
we big?
that's
We're
gonna
not.
be
Are we big
interesting.
Monday? We're not big Monday, are we?
I don't know. Big Monday
Probably
can
not.
go kick rocks.
Yeah,
I
who
hate Big
cares?
Monday after the Kansas game.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and then look, if Colorado sucks, you should dominate Colorado. The bracket will be very interesting to see how it plays out because there's so much movement that could happen between the 2 and the 5 line right now. I really don't care what happens in the Big 12 tournament. Would obviously love to win the Big 12 title. Obviously, would not like to get bounced in the first, in the quarterfinals. As long as you're staying healthy and you kind of can put yourself in as good of a spot to have as good of a draw as you can. Like, I think we're probably, us and Duke are probably the 2 teams right now for that number 1 overall seed. I think that Michigan's actually hurting themselves like each game that plays. But yeah, I mean, look, that's all that matters. You're number 1 seed, and that's
All right.
the name of
The
the game.
Gladiator says we are big Monday. Interesting. Okay.
No.
Now, okay, I'm a big Monday with Fran.
Oh, that makes sense because Fran said that he was staying.
All right. Well, Fran, the man with the master plan. We love Fran on this show. Okay. Now, let's see. What else do we got here? Redeemer Weep, Final Four bust. No excuse with this squad. Just stay healthy, please. All right. Lil Guillermo, my guy, Lil G. What did Lil G say, Cody? Pull up Lil G, please. Lil G. Braden is making a real run at the best Burries to ever play in Arizona. Go get his sheet. Well, because his brother is the all-time leading scorer, and he played at like Globe or like Apache Junction or like one of the like Native American schools. Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. Okay, so now looking ahead though a little bit, like I said, Dwayne, I'd like to get Dwayne. I'd like to get Dwayne. Again, Dwayne coming back. I can say it now that he's back. Dwayne had mono, so anybody that has ever had mono, I've had mono before. Don't tell my parents.
I don't. I get no women. Sorry,
Yeah, no, I swear it wasn't from women. It was probably picking my nose or something. I'm not sure. Let's get Dwayne moving now. You got Koa back.
I got to be honest. I mean, I know he only played like 3 minutes. He kind of looked a little lethargic.
He really looked really lethargic.
He was walking around a lot during that 3-minute stretch. So I think you got to kind of build up his minutes back to get him in that 12 to 15 range. But I was taking note of it, and it was like, ooh, you're feeling it still.
Hey, TLN says, so soft not saying mono before. Dude, all I'm going to say this is, TLN, if it's something with an injury or an illness and we're asked not to say what it is for personal reasons, I have no problem not saying it. I mean, you guys are smart enough to figure out what it is, so,
Yeah, like, you got to realize, like, I think the fans got to realize that, like, you guys build relationships with people in the program, around the program, and, like, if they ask you to do something, you're not just going to be like, well, screw that, so that, like, Mike Jones 1, 2, 3 can know, that it's mono. Like, you can figure it out.
TLN, you're a very smart guy. When I said that when you have flu-like symptoms for multiple weeks, that is, you should be able to figure that one out. That's all. If he had Valley Fever, we wouldn't be saying he was probably coming back that quickly because Valley Fever can like kill you, so it's a little bit different. Okay, now, all right. So now, where are we at then? Okay, moving forward then. You look around this. You look around the country, and you look around everything that's going on right now. And Arizona is just really, really clicking. I think the way that you want them to click. Everybody is kind of falling into their roles. I would like to see JB be a little bit more aggressive at times, but overall, everybody's doing kind of what they need to do at this stage. And the only one that you're really looking at, and you're like, all right, I'd love to be able to get him going, is Dwayne.
Yeah, the thing with JB that encourages me is like if you get into March and it's nut cutting time, I'm gonna trust that senior guard Jaden Bradley, who would theoretically be playing his last game ever, is going to figure it out. Right? Like you're not going to have to question whether or not his motor is going to be there. Like this isn't going to be a situation with like Tubelis against Princeton where it was just like you just completely faded away, or like DeAndre Ayton against Buffalo. It's like this is going to be his last game. He's going to go out swinging, throughout March. I would like to see him get a little bit more aggressive, but it's one of those things that it's like when his back's against the wall, when the team's back's against the wall, like it has been against UCLA or like it has been against UConn or these various games, he figures it out.
Right.
And that's encouraging.
All right, let's talk about the free throws. This is something that I'm just going to say this. With the free throws, if Arizona, I don't really care as much about the three-point shooting as some other folks do. The free throws, I think we're all in agreement on, no matter what, that you have to make the free throws. If your game is going to be able to beat people up inside, be able to finish around the hoop, get fouled, you got to make free throws. Like the Jennifer just said, Arizona made their free throws. I think they were 17 of 18 or something like that. And you make your free throws, it changes a lot of things. What worries me come March is some of the like the Houston game where there was a time where you were like 4 for 11 from the free throw line. You can't have that. You got to make your free throws. It's that simple.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I care a lot less about free throws. I care a lot more, or free throw percentage. I care a lot more about free throw attempts.
Yeah.
Like St. Mary's is number 1 in the country right now at 80 free throw attempts per game. Or sorry, let me restate that. St. Mary's is leading the country right now with an 80% free throw percentage, right? I don't really care about that. I care about the fact that we're taking 25, 26, 27 free throws a game, right? I'm willing to sacrifice 5 points from an efficiency perspective in order to get more. So that was the encouraging thing tonight. It wasn't necessarily that they shot 88% from free throw line. It's that they had 34 free throw attempts.
All right, now Cheryl Schmidt, the great Cheryl, says, we deserve all of this. BTFD, I lost my voice in there. Hey, you want to know what's funny? And my mom's watching, so she'll probably get mad at me about this. But Cheryl texted me before the game, and she said, I'm super nervous. And then I just responded back with gas, ? And then she said, never. My mom would be appalled if she knew that I asked a woman if she has gas during when she's nervous. So that is what it is. You know, there's an amazing stat there, too, Tyler, that Arizona has shot 211 more free throws than its opponents. I had no clue about any of that. That's an impressive number.
You want some fodder for the next 48 hours?
Yeah, fodder. Yeah, who doesn't?
Tommy just said in his press conference.
I know.
Take more threes.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Look, I'll say this. The Houston game changed my perspective. It was really the BYU game leading into the Houston game that changed my perspective on the 3-point thing, because my whole thing was you need to be able to have the 3-point shot as a weapon in your as a tool in your toolkit, so that if push comes to shove, you can play that style of game. Right? They did that against BYU. They shot the lights out of the gym. They won running away. The Houston game was the game that I thought there's no way they're going to be able to win this game without shooting threes. And they still went in there and dominated without shooting threes.
Right.
I just,
You're a reformed spacer.
I'm a reformed spacer, but my perspective on it is just like very simple. I don't want to be 363rd in the country in any stat, period.
Yeah, that's fair.
To that extent, I think it is better when we are getting more open looks from three and we are taking them instead of forcing the ball inside. With that said, I no longer have the concern that Arizona doesn't shoot enough threes, and that is going to lead to us losing games, because I have seen us be able to do that.
And the thing about it, too, is that there have been games when, like against Kansas, Arizona made three. I think they were like 8 of 17 from three in their first game, and they lost. So, obviously.
Well, and they're a good three-point shooting team.
They are. I got to be
thing.
clear about this, because some of the spacers really annoy me. But I got to say this. Everybody wants good shooters. There's not. But, like I said, we were talking to some people before the season, and they said what they prioritized and what they could prioritize with money, and the shooting was not one of the three priorities they chose. So it is what it is. It's from their mouth.
Well, look at somebody like Avon, right? Like, Avon is not a great three-point shooter.
Right.
Do I want to sit him for Dwayne Aristote, who is a better three-point shooter, and sacrifice the scoring production I'm going to get from Avon in the transition, in being able to drive it to the rack, his ability to pass the ball, which I think is like a slept-on part of his game,
very much
and
so,
his phenomenal defense? Like, no. So, yeah, I'm willing to make the sacrifice of less three-point shooting out of our small forward in exchange for all of those other intangibles that he brings. Right.
Now, all right, let's get a couple reads in here. I want to ask you what your opinion is going into, you got a couple games left, and then you got the Big 12 tournament. Let's talk. All right, get these shirts, everybody. Get these shirts. Everybody. Seriously, get these shirts right now. AZ12 Podcast. Tedwardo begs you. Look at these. Look at that UA in there. Look at that underbite. That underbite is something vicious. and it's something that you don't want to mess with. AZ12 Wildcats podcast, AZ12 podcast, Fourth Wall. Get it in there. Get it in there. Check it out. There's a big league shirt. Everybody wants this shirt. Men, women, different. Never mind. All right, just go. Yeah, AZ12. Check it out. No, Tommy does not. I will tell. All right, now. RJ's Frozen Cactus, red hot beer and ice cold sports, baby. Huge red hot sports and ice cold beer. Huge parking lot you could park a jet in. Boom. And again, 100 plus craft beers, $2 deals, pizza, wings, burgers, tacos, and more. No bad seats in the house. Check it out. RJ's Frozen Cactus. It's very, very good stuff. No, I said ice cold beer and red hot sports. Come on, get it right. Give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. All right, Comfort X HVAC. All right. Do you have AC up there in the slums of Scottsdale?
I did, and I just got it serviced Friday, so it's humming.
All right, well, that's good. But here, if you're somebody like Kobe L, and you're like, yeah, hold on. Hey, Chinzy, I'll get there. I was in the middle of a read. I'll call 520-222-7012 or book online at comfortxhvac.com. Service and maintenance, emergency repairs, installation, replacements, free estimates, noise reduction, bathrooms, you name it, they have got it. Comfort X HVAC. Back the X, baby. Back it. Okay, all right, now. All right, now let's go back to that $5 super snap. First of all, I got to give you a lot. I got to give him a lot of credit here first. I don't like his content, what he just said. I like the money that he sent, and I love the name. Hate Gen Z slang. You are a legend. Tommy agrees with the Spacers. Time for Mike to take the public L. No, I won't take the public L because they shoot like the least amount of threes in the entire country, and that's the way the team was built. Boom. I will not take the L, but I will take your $5. Very much appreciate you, Hagens.
I will say Too Busy Winning had a banger of a post saying West Virginia is going to be one of those annoying teams that's going to whine when they don't get in the tournament, and he is so spot on about that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to make the tournament, and they're going to be like, well, look at all these top wins that we had. It's like, yeah, but you guys were 17 and 15.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, that always cracks me up. If you are on the bubble, and to me, there's two different kinds of bubbles. Like, if you're a mid-major team and you're 31-1 or something, and your one loss was whatever, I kind of get it. Whatever. But, man, when you have 15 losses and you're like you said, like 18 and 15 or 17 and 13, buzz off, man. Yeah. Like, the fact that they let 68 teams in. And the fact that you are on the bubble of those 68, that's a U factor.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the last four in right now, and like Santa Clara is one of the last four in. They're 23-7 and they're third in the West Coast Conference, and it's like
right.
That's the cutoff mark is like a 23-7 Santa Clara team. Kind of where we're drawing the line. Like USC is garbage. Like I don't want to see them in the NCAA tournament. Cal garbage. So yeah, like I think at this point the bubble argument's gotten really dumb just because it's like. You guys, you know, it's not like there's such a limited amount of at-large spots now.
Right. Yes. Okay. Now let's see here. Casey Kennedy says this team has a Federal Reserve for shooting threes. They save them for when they need. You know, I gotta give this team a lot of credit on that. They have been timely 3-point shooters. Like there's some teams that you look at them and you're like St. John's, my Rick Pitino. When you watch St. John's, you're like, oh crap. You can't make any threes. You guys suck at shooting threes. Like, there's no chance. With Arizona, you watch them, and you're like, all right, you can make threes. You just don't shoot a lot of them. But I never look at them and say, man, that's just an impotent – or I don't know if impotent's the right word. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, nothing to do with the front pipe.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, you look at, like, Bama. Bama is such a streaky three-point team. And it's like you can watch a game, and they come out, like, 1 for 7 from three-point range, and you're like, yeah, it's a wrap. And I bet you – like, just looking at the score of the Tennessee game right now, they're down 12 at half. I bet they're, like, 3 of 14 from three-point range.
Oh, I'm sure they're
5 of 13 from three-point range, right?
Yeah, you weren't that far off.
Actually, that's not a bad percentage. But, but, like, my point being that, like, Arizona is at least kind of consistent. From like, I saw a stat, I think it said ADO's had a 3 in 8 straight games. Braden Burries is like a knockdown he's a microwave 3-point shooter at this point.
Right.
You know, when JB puts a shot up, I don't feel bad about it. When Avon puts a shot up, I don't feel bad about it. When Tobe puts a 3 up, I don't feel bad about it. So it's like,
yeah, all right. You didn't. There's nobody else that we're putting in that group.
No, that's
okay.
Well, Dwayne.
All right, Dwayne. But I was hoping you wouldn't say Koa.
No. When Ko puts it up, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, all right, there's a charity possession right there. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, like, all that to say that, like, it's not one of those things where if we shoot threes, I feel worse about our odds of winning the game.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Also, so what do you think Arizona wins out?
I think it's going to be very difficult to win 3 straight Big 12 games and win the Big 12.
No, my bad. Meant the Big 12 or Big 12 regular.
Oh, the regular season.
Iowa State.
Yeah. I mean, Colorado's a joke, and I think that Iowa State at home when they have this quick of a turnaround. Like if it was a Wednesday night and they're coming off that loss, like maybe I'm a little bit more nervous. But yeah, I'm
the turnaround, like you said, is now. And the thing that's nice about the Big 12, and this is why I think it's also a nice situation Arizona's in. You don't have to win, but it's not so close now because I don't believe what the committee says. I believe if teams are super, super close and they play each other in the conference tournament, I have a hard time believing that doesn't factor in if you're like this and you're like So Arizona doesn't need any of that though. We already got ours.
Well, you have to ask yourself like, who is Arizona losing a 1 seed to? Right?
Yeah,
like,
that's the point.
UConn. If you're like looking at that list, it's like UConn, Illinois, Iowa State, Purdue. Well, guess what? Purdue just lost. Iowa State just lost. Mm-hmm. Illinois just lost. UConn lost a week ago.
Right.
It's like, and like these aren't like good. I guess the Illinois loss is a good loss, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, like it's just it feels very cemented that it's Duke, it's Michigan, and it's Arizona, and obviously like I want to be the number 1 overall seed because we're gonna get the better of the first 4 draw and all that. But like the West is so important, and like I think that people like if you were playing a Friday night Sweet 16 game against an Arkansas in Chicago, are you going to feel good about that? Or are you going to feel a lot better if you're playing, Michigan State in San Jose?
Yeah, see, I don't buy into that when they're like, oh, we haven't played well in San Jose or Anaheim lately. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything for me. Also, TLN, you are not bringing your A game today. First of all, Isaiah Johnson is 6'1". Second of all, he shoots 37% from 3, 48 from the field, and 80% from the free throw line. You're not on your A game today. You're generally much better than this, TLN. It's time for you to regroup. Come on, be better.
I'll say this because I saw that and I started thinking about like what would Zoom Diallo look like in this offense, and I had to like stop myself and like. I just need to say that, like, this game on Monday will be the last time that Jaden Bradley plays in that arena.
Yeah.
It'll be the last time that Tobe Awaka plays in that arena. It'll be the last time Anthony Del Orso plays in that arena. It'll be the last time that Koa and Braden Burries probably play in that arena. Like, this has been such a special team, and it's been such a special season to watch that I really hope on Monday, like, fans really pour their heart out. Because...
TLN. I don't know what TLN. Next time you better come correct. It shoots 37.1%. Thank you.
Dude, okay. TLN just got the glove.
Yeah, TLN just got the gloved out. He just got the paw gloved out of him. That sounds terrible.
But Monday, I think that's another reason that Arizona's going to win on Monday. Like, Monday is going to be an emotional night. Mm-hmm. I just find it so hard on, like, a senior night. With all that's going to be going on.
The families are all going to be there. The women's hair is all going to be done and, like, all that. Yeah.
But, like, this is the thing. Just pour your heart out onto the team on Monday because, like, this team's been so awesome. I mean, like, it's been one of the most fun seasons of my entire life. And like, I'm just super excited about, like, where do we go from here?
Right, Travis Strauss, who was, I think, having a crash out after the Arizona-Kansas game earlier in the year. But he says Tommy's new nickname, the Adjuster. Yeah, I don't hate that one. Okay, now, Koa winning a national championship at Arizona would be such an unreal story. Like, talk about Mr. Arizona. That's very true. That's very true. And you know what? If he shot 37.1% as opposed to 18, it'd be even better. I'll tell you that one. Okay.
And let's just set the table right now, Mike, because, like, we're getting into that talk. Making it to the Final Four is going to be an amazing accomplishment. The tournament is such a crapshoot. Mm-hmm. There are so many things that have to go right to win a national championship. Very, very rarely do you have the best team in the country win a national championship.
I just want to be like UConn for those 2 years where every game was 15-plus points.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
That would be awesome, right? That would be great. but like I know people have been saying Final Four or bust. It is a very difficult thing to do. And I bought Final Four tickets because I am so encouraged by everything and I want to go to it, right? So like trust me, I'm not saying I don't believe in this team. I'm just saying understand that there are so many things that have to go right to win a national championship. The goal should be get to the Final Four, and in Indianapolis, anything can happen.
All right, now I'm going to say this. Here's my because I don't agree with the Final Four bust for basically the same reasons that you laid out there. I'm going to say this. I believe my line of demarcation where anything less than that is unacceptable is the Elite Eight. I have to get to the Elite Eight this year. No Sweet 16, no none of that, blah, 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 none of that stuff. Because here's the thing: if you're in the Sweet 16, you're playing a 4 or a 5 seed. I don't care who it is. That means you're playing a team that's probably ranked between 16 to 20. You should win that game. When you get into the Elite Eight, that's when you're playing another top 10 team. That is where I am at with this. Now, again, I want to win that game, obviously. But the Elite Eight, to me, is the bare minimum for this.
Like if we lost to a Tennessee or a Vanderbilt or a St. John's or something like that in the Sweet 16,
very
that
disappointing.
Would crush me.
Yes.
If we lost to a Houston in the Elite Eight in a close game,
right?
Sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces.
Yep.
Get to the Elite Eight, hope for the best, but like it's just a crapshoot, man.
I got an amazing stat for you.
Playoff.
So Arizona's 0-5 in their last 5 Elite Eights. Okay, guess what the line of guess what the average margin of loss is in those?
Probably like 1.4 points.
2.9 points.
Okay.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, because in 14 you lost. Nick Johnson didn't get the shot off, lost by 1. It was probably 15 actually, because they probably ended up winning by like 6.
I think they won by 6. That was the biggest margin of victory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but the UConn in 2011, that was very tight. The Illinois in 2005, that was very tight.
Right.
So yeah, that sounds right.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Now, hey Cody, do we have any more reads? Oh, well, of course we do. What am I thinking? That guard stinks. Give me Zoom. You guys are wrong about the Colorado guy. Go back and look at him again. You better check yourself or you wreck yourself. All right, now, Dennis Walsh is not in the comments, but his superior, Jerry Reyes, is. They were Dennis Walsh was at Baggins earlier today with Kai. Use code AC12 for 15% off. Every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. And again, be like Jennifer and do free delivery with code FREERIDE. Yes, Jennifer, you are the best. We appreciate you. All food made in-house daily. And I think Dennis Walsh was just eating cookie dough. That's how gangster Dennis Walsh is. Yeah, maybe back the jet up into the dough factory. But
the missus and I had Baggins for lunch today.
Why? Excuse me?
Yeah, AZ12.
Where was the real time?
It was post-football. It was before the game. I had to just scrub it down.
Tyler, did you have your phone on you?
No, I threw it in a pool somewhere.
You threw it in the pool so that you couldn't take a real time of Baggins. I don't believe any of that. Yes. So there you go. Yeah, it's all crap. But yes. Kai. Okay, now, all right, check it out, Baggins. All right, now. Yeah, you need to real time it, man. I mean, I appreciate
That's on me. Hey,
I appreciate the thought. Do I need to talk with the missus and make sure that this never happens again?
You might.
All right, because if it happens,
you might.
Is she right there?
No, she's napping.
All right, well, don't make me call, because if I call, things are going to be different. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, Jerry Reyes says the AZ12 Baggins discount has saved me hundreds of dollars. Very much appreciate you. All right. Now, welcome to the Rock.
That was impressive.
All right, you're up. I think you got your voice echo. We're not hearing anything, Tyler.
No.
Yeah, we're not hearing anything. Damn it.
Oh my goodness.
Try it again.
Take my eyes.
Now try it again. Try it again.
Nope.
All right, fine. Here, we'll do a sit-in for Tyler. Now, check it out. Green Valley Decorative Rock. 2 convenient locations. Tucson plus Green Valley. 50-plus locally sourced landscaping materials. And, yeah, Casey's right. I didn't even try to do it yesterday because Sheer probably had the best static that we've ever had on the show. It was amazing. It was something I've never seen before. It was like hearing like Niagara Falls with like Wyatt Earp gunshots in the background. It was amazing. But either way, check it out. Green Valley, Decatur Brock, east of Benson, Sierra Vista, west of Marana, south of Nogales, north to Oracle. Boom. It was great. Now, Pop says that might be the loudest static I've ever. Oh, no. That might be the loudest I've heard McHale. I apologize. Okay. Yeah. Check it out. Okay. All right. You paused my stream. Sorry about. Pause your stream always hurts. I hate pausing my stream. It stings, yes. I can't stop once I started, Harry. It hurts. Give me that beer, you little pumpkin pie haircutted freak. Okay, now, everybody, get to Little Caesars. Code 15% off any online order. Save 15. Code LCFREECC. Free crazy combo with a pizza purchase. All right, Tyler, this was a big win for Arizona. You won by 19. You took care of business. And, like I said, Big 12 champs, baby. Big 12 champs. Yeah. Now, listen, I want the outright stuff. I don't care about the split or the tie. You got to win one of these next 2 games. I'll be stunned if they don't. But what an awesome season so far, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Big 12 champs, number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament, number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, one of the best seasons in Arizona history. What's not to love?
Right. Exactly. Everybody out there, have a good time because, again, we might not get this. We might not get this in the future. So, I mean, we might, but, just enjoy it because tomorrow is promised to nobody. Wins are promised to nobody. Health is promised to nobody. All of that. All right. We win by 23. I know. All right. Sorry. Well, whatever. Okay. Tyler, you are the man. We very much appreciate the coach, the future coach of AZ12 Prep, like I said, our coach in waiting.
Appreciate you for having me.
All right, everybody out there, you guys are great. Yeah, we'll be having a Monday podcast as well. Let's read the super snaps. Oh, 19. Sorry, Jennifer. I apologize. You were smarter than me. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. All right, now, BAB 5983 $49.99. This kind of felt like the original TMNT movie when the Turtles got Raph back, nursed him back to health, and were at full strength to kick butt. Bear down, baby. Big 12 champs. Woohoo! H. Fuchs has been very mean to me lately. 9 out of 10 furries are in favor of Burries. I think it's 10 out of 10, but we'll take your $1.99. Okay. Back the A. BTFD, this win was as big as a parking lot needs to be to fit mine and Andre's Jets. Love revenge games. Hard to beat Tommy twice. Very much appreciate it. All right, Andre Veras, the Gladiator. Tough game for the Spacer crowd. Once again, Ben 1 white. Ben 1 white. Ben 1 white. Yeah. Thanks. All right, Brett Seeley. Mike, thank you for trying to get the great Michelle Gardner to unblock me. Still unsuccessful. I'm working, man. She's a hard one to, like, as you guys all saw when I asked her out. She's a hard one to get.
Tough cookie.
Yeah, she is, man. When you get some of these high-class women, man, they're not just saying yes immediately. They're just not. You got to work on them. Okay, what else? Tom Smallwood. We are in force. Back the A. Let's hear it, Mike. Yes, sir, Tom Smallwood. You are the man. Lil Guillermo, Lil G. Braden making a run at the best Burries to ever play in Arizona. He go get his sheet. Yes, very good job. Cheryl Schmidt, $9.99. We deserve all of this. BTFD, she was very nervous, but it was not a gassy nerve. All right, very good. Okay. Now, hate Gen Z slang. Tommy agrees with the Spacers. Time for Mike Luke to take this public W. I will hate Gen Z slang. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah. Boo. All right. On that note, though, we very much appreciate all of you. Tyler Warden, back the girth, $1.99. Hal J, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Now, you tell the missus, what was your homework assignment? Oh, yeah, real times. Can't happen again. Just can't happen. We run a tight ship. It can't happen again.
Fair enough. I'll tighten it up.
Everybody out there, you guys are the best. We will be back with you on Monday. 2 shows on Monday for the great Tyler Warden. I am merely Mike Luke. A great success. Very nice. We will talk with you on Monday. TTFN.